So hello everyone, in this audio class we will read the chapter number 3 from the book India, People and Economy, NCERT textbook for geography for class 12, chapter 3, land resources and agriculture. So let's get started. You must have observed that the land around you is put to different uses. Some land is occupied by rivers, some may have trees, and on some parts roads and buildings have been built. Different types of lands are suited to different uses. Human beings thus use land as a resource for production as well as residence and recreation. Thus, the building of your school, roads on which you travel, parks in which you play, fields in which crops are grown, and the pastures where animals graze represent different uses to which land is put. Next point, land use categories. Land use records are maintained by Land Revenue Department. The land use categories add up to reporting area, which is somewhat different from the geographical area. The Survey of India is responsible for measuring geographical area of administrative units in India. Have you ever used a map prepared by Survey of India? The difference between the two concepts are that while the former changes somewhat depending on the estimates of the land revenue records, the latter does not change and stays fixed as per Survey of India measurement. You may be familiar with land use categories as they are also included in your social science textbook or class 10. The land use categories as maintained in the land revenue records are as follows. First is forest. It is important to note that area under actual forest cover is different from area classified as forest. The latter is the area which the government has identified and demarcated for forest growth. The land revenue records are consistent with the latter definition. Thus, there may be an increase in this category without any increase in the actual forest cover. Next point is barren and wasteland. The land which may be classified as a wasteland, such as barren, hilly terrains, desert lands, ravines, etc., normally cannot be brought under cultivation with the available technology. Next point is land put to non-agricultural uses. Land under settlements, that is rural and urban settlement infrastructure like roads, canals, industries, shops are included in this category. As an expansion in the secondary and tertiary activities would lead to an increase in this category of land use. Area under permanent pastures and grazing lands. Most of these types land is owned by the village panchayat or the government. Only a small proportion of this land is privately owned. The land owned by the village panchayat comes under common property resources. Next point, point number 5, area under miscellaneous tree, crops and groves not included in net shown area. The land under orchards and fruit trees are included in this category. Much of this land is privately owned. Point number 6, cultivable wasteland. Any land which is left fallow or uncultivated for more than 5 years is included in this category. It can be brought under cultivation after improving it through reclamation practices. Next point is current fallow. This is the land which is left without cultivation for one or less than one agricultural year. Fallowing is a cultural practice adapted for giving the land rest. The land recoups the lost fertility through natural processes. Next point is fallow other than current fallow. This is also called a cultivable land which is left uncultivated for more than a year but less than 5 years. If the land is left uncultivated for more than 5 years, it would be categorized as cultivable wasteland. Next point is net area shown. The physical extent of land on which crops are sown and harvested is known as the net sown area. Next point is land use changes in India. Land use in a region to a large extent is influenced by the nature of economic activities carried out in that region. However, while economic activities change over time, land, like many other natural resources, is fixed in terms of its area. At this stage, one needs to appreciate three types of changes that an economy undergoes, which affect land use. The size of the economy, measured in terms of value for all the goods and services produced in the economy. The size of economy grows over time as a result of increasing population, change in income levels, available technology, and associated factors. As a result, the pressure on land will increase with the time and marginal lands would come under use. Secondly, the composition of the economy would undergo a change over time. In other words, the secondary and tertiary sector usually grow much faster than the primary sector, specifically the agricultural sector. This type of change is common in developing countries like India. This process would result in a gradual shift of land from agricultural uses to non-agricultural uses. You would observe that such changes are sharp around large urban areas. The agricultural land is being used for building purposes. Thirdly, though the contribution of the agricultural activities reduces over time, the pressure on land for agricultural activities does not decline. The reasons for continued pressure on agricultural land are: in developing countries, the share of population dependent on agriculture usually decline much more slowly compared to the decline in the sector's share in GDP. The number of people that the agriculture sector has to feed is increasing day by day. India has undergone major changes within economy over the past 4 or 5 decades, and this has influenced the land use changes in the country. These changes between 1950-51 and 2014-15 have been shown in the figure 3.1. There are 2 points that you need to remember before you derive some meaning from this figure. Firstly, the percentage shown in the figure have been derived with respect to reporting area. Secondly, since even the reporting area has been relatively constant over the years, a decline in one category usually leads to an increase in some other category. 4 categories have undergone increases while 4 have registered declines. share of area under forest, area under non-agricultural uses, current fallow lands and net area shown have shown an increase. The following observations can be made about these increases. The rate of increases in the is the highest in case of area under non-agricultural uses. This is due to the changing structure of Indian economy, which is increasingly depending on the contribution from industrial and services sectors and expansion of related infrastructural facilities. Also, an expansion of an area under both urban and rural settlements has added to the increase. Thus, the area under non-agricultural uses is increasing at the expense of wastelands and agricultural land. The increase, point number 2, the increase in the share under forest, as explained before, can be accounted for by increase in the demarcated area under forest rather than actual increase in the forest cover in the country. Point number 3, the increase in the current fallow cannot be explained from information pertaining to only 2 points. The trend of current fallow fluctuates a great deal over years, depending on the variability of rainfall and cropping cycles. Point number 4, the increase in net area shown is a recent phenomenon due to use of cultivable wasteland for agricultural purpose, before which it was registering a slow decrease. There are indications that most of the decline had occurred due to the increases in the area under non-agricultural uses. Note the expansion of building activity on agricultural land in your village and city. The four categories that have registered a decline are barren and wasteland, cultivable wasteland, area under pastures and tree crops, and fallow lands. The following explanations can be given for the declining trends. As the pressure on land increases both from agricultural and non-agricultural sectors, the wastelands and cultivable wastelands have witnessed decline over time. The decline in land under pastures and grazing lands can be explained by pressure from agricultural land. Illegal encroachment due to expansion of cultivation on common pasture lands is largely responsible for this decline. And next point is common property resources. Land, according to its ownership, can broadly be classified under two broad heads, that is private land and common property resources. While the former is owned by an individual or a group of individuals, the latter is owned by the state, meant for the use of the community. The common property resources provide fodder for the livestock and fuel for the households, along with other minor forest products like fruits, nuts, fiber, medicinal plants, etc. In rural areas, such land is of particular relevance for the livelihood of the landless and marginal farmers and other weaker sections, since many of them depend on income from their livestock due to the fact that they have limited access to land. Common property resources also are important for women, as most of the fodder and fuel collection is done by them in rural areas. They have to devote long hours in collecting fuel and fodder for a degraded area of common property rights, common property resource. Common property resources can be defined as community's natural resource, where every member has the right of access and uses with specified obligations without anybody having property rights over them. Community forests, pasture lands, village water bodies and other public spaces where a group larger than a household or family unit exercises rights of use and carries the responsibility of management are example of common property rights. Agricultural land use in India. Land resource is more crucial to the livelihood of people depending on agriculture. Agriculture is a purely land-based activity, unlike secondary and tertiary activities. In other words, contribution of land in agriculture output is more compared to its contribution in the outputs in the other sectors. Thus, lack of access to land is directly correlated with the incidence of poverty in rural areas. Quality of land has a direct bearing on the productivity of agriculture, which is not true for other activities. In rural areas, aside from its value as a productive factor, land ownership has a social value and serves as a security for credit, natural hazards or life contingencies, and also adds to the social status. An estimation of the total stock of agricultural land resources, that is total cultivable land, can be arrived at by adding up net sown area, all fallow lands and cultivable wasteland. It may be observed from table 3.1 that over the years there has been a marginal decline in the available total stock of cultivable land as a percentage to the total reporting area. There has been a greater decline of cultivated land in spite of a corresponding decline of cultivable wasteland. Next point is it is clear from the above discussion that the scope for bringing in additional land under net sown area in India is limited. There is thus an urgent need to evolve and adapt land saving technologies. Such technologies can be classified under two heads: those which raise the yield of any particular crop per unit area of land, and those which increase the total output per unit area of land from all crops grown over one agricultural year by increasing land use intensity. The advantage of the latter kind of technology is that along with increasing output from limited land, it also increases the demand for labor significantly. For a land scarce but labor abundant country like India, a high cropping intensity is desirable not only for the fuller utilization of land resource but also for reducing unemployment in the rural economy. The cropping intensity is calculated as a gross cropped area divided by net sown area into 100. Cropping seasons in India. There are three distinct crop seasons in the northern and interior parts of the country, namely Kharif, Rabi and Zaid. The Kharif season largely coincides with the southwest monsoon, under which cultivation of tropical crops such as rice, cotton, jute, jowar, bajra and tur is possible. The Rabi season begins with the onset of winter in October-November and ends in March-April. The low temperature conditions during this season facilitate the cultivation of temperate and subtropical crops such as wheat, gram and mustard. Zaid is a short duration summer cropping season beginning after harvesting of Rabi crops. The cultivation of watermelons, cucumbers, vegetables and fodder crops during this season is done on irrigated lands. However, this type of distinction in the cropping season does not exist in southern parts of the country. Here the temperature is high enough to grow tropical crops during any period in the year provided the soil moisture is available. Therefore, in this region some crops can be grown thrice in an agricultural year provided that there is sufficient soil moisture. Types of farming. On the basis of main source of moisture for crops, the farming can be classified as irrigated and rain-fed or barani. There is difference in nature of irrigated farming as well as based on objective of irrigation that can be protective or productive. The objective of protective irrigation is to protect crops from the adverse effect of soil moisture. Next table is cropping seasons in India. Kharif season is June to September and major crops cultivated in northern states is rice, cotton, bajra, maize, jowar and tur, and in southern states is rice, maize, ragi, jowar and groundnut. The Rabi crops, that is from cropping season, is from October to March, and major crops cultivated in northern states wheat, gram, rapeseeds and mustard, barley etc., and southern states rice, maize, ragi, groundnut and jowar. Zaid is April to June, vegetables, fruits, fodder etc., and in southern states rice, vegetables and fodders are cultivated. So the objective of protective irrigation is to protect the crops from adverse effect of soil moisture deficiency, which often means that irrigation acts as a supplementary source of water over and above the rainfall. The strategy of this kind of irrigation is to provide soil moisture to maximum possible area. Productive irrigation is meant to provide sufficient soil moisture in the cropping season to achieve high productivity. In such irrigation, the water input per unit area of cultivated land is higher than protective irrigation. Rain-fed farming is further classified on the basis of adequacy of soil moisture during cropping season into dryland and wetland farming. In India, dryland farming is largely confined to the regions having annual rainfall less than 75 centimeter. These regions grow hardy and drought resistant crops such as ragi, bajra, moong, gram and guar or fodder crops, and practice various measures of soil moisture conservation and rainwater harvesting. In wetland farming, the rainfall is the excess of soil moisture requirement of plants during rainy season. Such regions may face flood and soil erosion hazards. These areas grow various water intensive crops such as rice, jute and sugarcane, and practice aquaculture in the freshwater bodies. Next point is food grains. The importance of food grains. The importance of food grains in Indian agricultural economy may be gauged from the fact that crop occupy about 2/3 of total cropped area in the country. Food grains are dominant crops in all parts of the country, whether they have subsistence or commercial agricultural economy. On the basis of the structure of grain, the fruit grains are classified as cereals and pulses. First point is cereals. The cereals occupy about 54% of the total cropped area in India. The country produces about 11% of cereals of the world and ranks third in the production after China and USA. India produces a variety of cereals which are classified as fine grains like rice and wheat, and coarse grains like jowar, bajra, maize, ragi, etc. Account of important cereals have been given in the following paragraphs. First is rice. Rice is a staple food for the overwhelming majority of population in India. Though it is considered to be a crop of tropical humid areas, it has about 3,000 varieties which are grown in different agroclimatic regions. These are successfully grown from sea level to about 2,000 meter altitude and from humid areas in eastern India to dry but irrigated areas of Punjab, Haryana, western UP and northern Rajasthan. In southern states and West Bengal, the climatic condition allow the cultivation of 2 or 3 crops of rice in an agricultural year. In West Bengal, farmers grow 3 crops of rice called Aus, Aman and Boro. But in Himalayas and northwestern parts of the country, it is grown as kharif crops during the southwest monsoon season. India contributes 22.07% of rice production in the world and ranked second after China in 2018. About 1/4 of the total cropped area in the country is under rice cultivation. West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab are the leading rice producing states in the country. The yield level of rice is high in Punjab, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, West Bengal and Kerala. In the first 4 of these states, almost the entire land of rice is under irrigation. Punjab and Haryana are not traditional rice growing areas. Rice cultivation in the irrigated areas of Punjab and Haryana was introduced in 1970s following the Green Revolution. Genetically improved varieties of seed, relatively high usage of fertilizers and pesticides, and lower levels of susceptibility of crops to pests due to dry climatic conditions are responsible for higher yield in rice in this region. The yield of this crop is low in very low in rain-fed areas of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Odisha. Next point is wheat. Wheat is the second most important cereal crop in India after rice. India produces about 12.8% of total wheat production of the world. It is primarily a crop of temperate zone, hence its cultivation in India is done during winter or rabi season. About 85% of the total area under crop is concentrated in the north and central regions of the country, that is Indo-Gangetic Plain, Malwa Plateau, Himalayas up to 2700 meter altitude. Being a rabi crop, it is mostly grown under irrigated conditions, but it is rain-fed crops in Himalayan highlands and parts of Malwa Plateau in Madhya Pradesh. About 14% of the total cropped area in the country is under wheat cultivation. Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan are the leading wheat producing states. The yield level of wheat is very high, above 4,000 kg per hectare in Punjab and Haryana, whereas Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Bihar have moderate yields. The states like Madhya Pradesh, Himachal Pradesh and Jammu and Kashmir growing wheat under rain-fed conditions have low yield. Jowar. Next point is jowar. The coarse cereals together occupy about 16.50% of total cropped area in the country. Among these, jowar or sorghum alone accounts for about 5.3% of the total cropped area. It is main food crops in semi-arid areas of central and southern India. Maharashtra alone produces more than half of the total jowar production of the country. Other leading producer states of jowar are Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. It is sown in both Kharif and Rabi seasons in southern states, but it is a Kharif crop in northern India where it is mostly grown as a fodder crop. South of Vindhyachal, it is a rain-fed crop and its yield level is very low in this region. Next point is bajra. Bajra is shown in hot and dry climatic conditions in northwestern and western part of the country. It is a hardy crop which resists frequent dry spells and drought in this region. It is cultivated alone as well as a part of mixed cropping. This coarse cereal occupies about 5.2% of the total cropped area in the country. Leading producers of bajra are the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Haryana. Being a rain-fed crop, the yield level of crop is very low in Rajasthan and fluctuates a lot from year to year. Yield of this crop has increased during recent years in Haryana and Gujarat due to introduction of drought-resistant varieties and expansion of irrigation under it. Next point is maize. Maize is a food as well as a fodder crop grown under semi-arid climatic conditions and over inferior soils. This crop occupies only about 3.6% of the total cropped area. Maize cultivation is not concentrated in any specific region. It is shown all over the India except Punjab and eastern and northeastern region. The leading producers of maize are states of Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh. Yield level of maize is higher than other coarse cereals. It is high in southern states and decline towards the central parts. Next point is pulses. Pulses are a very important ingredient of vegetarian food as these are rich sources of proteins. These are legume crops which increase the natural fertility of soils through nitrogen fixation. India is a leading producer of pulses in the world. The cultivation of pulses in the country is largely concentrated in the dry land of Deccan and the central plateaus and northwestern parts of the country. Pulses occupy about 11% of the total cropped area in the country. Being the rain-fed crops of dry lands, the yields of pulses are low and fluctuate from year to year. Gram and tur are the main pulses cultivated in India. So the next point is gram. Gram is cultivated in subtropical areas. It is mostly a rain-fed crop cultivated during Rabi season in central and western and now northwestern parts of the country. Just 1 or 2 light showers or irrigations are required to grow this crop successfully. It has been displaced from it has been displaced from the cropping pattern by wheat in Haryana, Punjab and northern Rajasthan following the Green Revolution. At present, gram covers only about 2.8% of the total cropped area in the country. Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Rajasthan are the main producers of this pulse crop. The yield of this crop continues to be low and fluctuates from year to year even in irrigated areas. Next point is tur or orhar. Tur is the second important pulse crop in the country. It is also known as the red gram or pigeon pea. It is cultivated over marginal lands and under rain-fed conditions in the dry areas of central and southern states of the country. This crop occupies only about 2% of the total cropped area of India. Maharashtra alone contributes about 1/3 of the total production of tur. Other leading producer states are Uttar Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat and Madhya Pradesh. Per hectare output of this crop is very low and its performance is inconsistent. Next point is oil seeds. The oil seeds are produced from extracting edible oils. Drylands of Malwa Plateau, Marathwada, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Telangana, Rayalaseema region of Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka Plateau are oil seeds growing regions of India. These crops together occupy about 14% of the total cropped area in the country. Groundnut, rapeseed and mustard, soybean and sunflower are the main oilseed crops grown in India. First point is groundnut. India produces about 18.8% of the total groundnut production in the world according to 2018 data. It is largely a rain-fed or kharif crop of drylands, but in southern India it is cultivated during Rabi season as well. It covers about 3.6% of the total cropped area in the country. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Maharashtra are the leading producers. Yield of groundnut is comparatively high in Tamil Nadu where it is primarily irrigated, but its yield is low in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka. Next point is rapeseed and mustard. Rapeseed and mustard comprise several oilseeds as rye, sarso, toria, tamaria. These are subtropical crops cultivated during Rabi season in northwestern and central parts of India. These are frost sensitive crops and their yields fluctuate from year to year, but with the expansion of irrigation and improvement in seed technology, their yields have improved and stabilized to some extent. About 2/3 of the cultivated area under these crops is irrigated. The oilseeds together occupy only about 2.5% of the total cropped area in the country. Rajasthan contributes about 1/3 production, while other leading producers are Haryana and Madhya Pradesh. Yields of these crops are comparatively high in Haryana and Rajasthan. Other oilseeds, soybean and sunflower, the other important oilseeds grown in India. Soybean is mostly grown in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. So the next is these two states together produce about 90% of the total output of soybean in the country. Sunflower cultivation is concentrated in Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and adjoining areas of Maharashtra. It is a minor crop in northern parts of the country where its yield is high due to irrigation. Next point is fiber crops. These crops provide us fiber for preparing clothes, bags, sacks and a number of other items. Cotton and jute are main fiber crops grown in India. Next point is cotton. Cotton is a tropical crop grown in Kharif season in semi-arid areas of the country. India lost a large proportion of cotton growing area to Pakistan during partition. However, its acreage has increased considerably during the last 50 years. India grows both short staple or Indian cotton as well as long staple or American cotton called Narma in northwestern parts of the country. Cotton requires clear sky during flowering stage. India ranks second in the world in the production of cotton after China. Cotton occupies about 4.7% of the total cropped area in the country. There are three cotton growing areas, that is parts of Punjab, Haryana, and northern Rajasthan and in northwest Gujarat and Maharashtra in the west, and plateaus of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu in south. Leading producers of these crops are Gujarat, Maharashtra and Telangana. Per hectare output of cotton is high under irrigated conditions. In northwestern region of the country, its yield is very low in Maharashtra, where it is grown under rain-fed conditions. Next point is jute. Jute is used for making coarse cloth, bags, sacks and decorative items. It is a cash crop in West Bengal and adjoining eastern parts of the country. India lost large jute growing areas to the East Pakistan or Bangladesh during partition. At present, India produces about 3/5 of jute production of the world. West Bengal accounts for about 3/4 of the production in the country. Bihar and Assam are the jute growing areas, being concentrated only in a few states. This crop accounts for only about 0.5% of the total cropped area in the country. Other crops are sugarcane, tea, coffee are the other important crops grown in India. Next point is sugarcane. Sugarcane is a crop of tropical areas under rain-fed conditions. It is cultivated in sub-humid and humid climates, but it is largely an irrigated crop in India. In Indo-Gangetic plain, its cultivation is largely concentrated in Uttar Pradesh. Sugarcane growing areas in the western India is spread over Maharashtra and Gujarat. In southern India, it is cultivated in southern India. It is cultivated in irrigated tracts of Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, and Andhra Pradesh. So just wait for a while, please. Just wait for a while. India was the second largest producer of sugarcane after Brazil in 2018. It accounts for about 19.7% of the world production of sugarcane, but it occupies only 2.4% of the total cropped area in the country. Uttar Pradesh produces about 2/5 of sugarcane in the country. Maharashtra, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh are other leading producers of this crop, where yield level of sugarcane is high. Its yield is low in northern India. Next point is tea. Tea is a plantation crop used as beverage. Black tea leaves are fermented, whereas green tea leaves are unfermented. Tea leaves have rich content of caffeine and tannin. It is indigenous crop of hills in northern China. It is grown over undulating topography of hill areas and well-drained soils in humid and subhumid tropics and subtropics. In India, tea plantation started in 1840s in Brahmaputra Valley of Assam, which still a major tea growing areas in the country. Later on, its plantation was introduced in the sub-Himalayan region of West Bengal, that is Darjeeling, Jalpaiguri and Coach Bihar districts. Tea is also cultivated on the lower slopes of Nilgiri and Cardamom hills in Western Ghats. India is a leading producer of tea and accounts for about 21.22% of the total production of the World in 2018, India's share in the international market of tea has declined substantially. It ranks second among the tea exporting countries in the world after China, according to 2018 data. Assam accounts for about 53.2% of the total cropped area and contributes more than half of the production of the tea in the country. West Bengal and Tamil Nadu are the other leading producers of tea. Next point is coffee. Coffee is a tropical plantation crop. Its seeds are roasted, ground, and are used for preparing a beverage. There are three varieties of coffee: Arabica, Robusta, and Liberica. Arabica, Robusta, and Liberica. India mostly grows super quality coffee Arabica, which is in great demand in international market. But India produces only about 3.17% of the coffee of the world and ranks 8th after Brazil. Vietnam, Indonesia, Cambodia, Honduras, Ethiopia, and Peru in 2018. Coffee is cultivated in highlands of Western Ghats in Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Karnataka alone accounts for more than 2/3 of total production of coffee in the country. Next point is agricultural development in India. Indian agricultural economy was largely subsistence in nature before independence. It had dismal performance in the first half of 20th century. This period witnessed several droughts and famines. During partition, about 1/3 of the irrigated land in undivided India went to Pakistan. This reduced the proportion of irrigated area in independent India. After independence, the immediate goal of government was to increase the food grain production by switching over from cash crops to food crops, make intensification of cropping over already cultivated land, and increasing cultivated area by bringing cultivable and fallow land under plough. Initially, this strategy helped in increasing food grains production, but agricultural production stagnated during late 1950s. To overcome these problems, intensive agricultural district program and intensive agricultural area program were launched, but two consecutive droughts during mid-60s resulted in food crisis in the country. Consequently, food grains were imported from other countries. Next point is new seed varieties of wheat from Mexico and rice from Philippines, known as high yielding varieties, were available for cultivation by mid-60s. India took advantage of this and introduced packaged technology comprising HYVs along with chemical fertilizers in irrigated areas of Punjab, Haryana, Western Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, and Gujarat. Assured supply of soil moisture through irrigation was a basic prerequisite for the success of this new agricultural technology. This strategy of agricultural development paid dividends instantly and increased the food grains production at very fast rate. This spurt of agricultural growth come to be known as Green Revolution. This also gave fillip to the development of large number of agro inputs, agro processing industries, and small scale industries. This strategy of agricultural development made the country self-reliant in food grain production. But a green revolution was initially confined to irrigated areas only. This led to regional disparities in agricultural development in the country till 1970s, after which the technology spread to the eastern and central parts of the country. The Planning Commission of India focused its attention on the problems of agriculture in rain-fed areas in 1980s. It initiated agroclimatic planning. It initiated It initiated agroclimatic planning in 1988 to induce regionally balanced agricultural development in the country. It also emphasized on the need for the diversification of agriculture and harnessing of resources for the development of dairy farming, poultry, horticulture, livestock rearing and aquaculture. Initiation of the policy of liberalization and a free market economy in 1990s influenced the course of development of Indian agriculture. Next point is National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture. National Mission for Sustainable Agriculture is to make agriculture more productive, sustainable, remunerative and climate resilient by promoting location specific integrated or composite farming systems and to conserve natural resources through appropriate soil and moisture conservation measures. The government has been promoting organic farming in the country through the schemes as Paramparagat Krishi Vikas Yojana and Rashtriya Vikas Yojana. Next point is growth of agricultural output and technology. There has been a significant increase in agricultural output and improvement in technology during the last 50 years. Production and yield of many crops such as rice and wheat has increased at an impressive rate. Among the other crops, the production of sugarcane, oilseeds and cotton has also increased appreciably. Expansion of irrigation has played a crucial role in enhancing agricultural output in the country. It provided basis for introduction of modern agricultural technology such as high-yielding varieties of seeds, chemical fertilizers, pesticides and farm machinery. The net irrigated area in the country has also increased. Modern agricultural technology has diffused very fast in various areas of the country. Consumption of chemical fertilizers has increased by 15 times since mid-60s. Since the high-yielding varieties are highly susceptible to pesticides and diseases, the use of pesticides has increased significantly since 1960s. Next point is Farmers Portal of India. The Farmers Portal is a platform for farmers to seek any information related to agriculture. Detailed information on farmers' insurance, agriculture, storage, crops, extension activities, seeds, pesticides, farm machineries, etc. is provided. Details of fertilizers, market prices, package and practices, programs, welfare schemes are also given. Block level details related to soil fertility, storage, insurance, training, etc. are available in an interactive map. Users can also download farm-friendly handbooks, scheme guidelines, etc. Next point is problems of Indian agriculture. The nature of problems faced by Indian agriculture varies according to agroecological and historical experience of its different regions. Hence, most of the agricultural problems in the country are region specific. Yet, there are some problems which are common and range from physical constraints to institutional hindrances. A detailed discussion on these problems follows. Dependence on erratic monsoon. Irrigation covers only about 33% of the cultivated area in India. The crop production in rest of the cultivated land directly depends on rain. Poor performance of the southwestern monsoon also adversely affects the supply of canal water for irrigation. On the other hand, the rainfall in Rajasthan and other drought-prone areas is too major and highly unreliable. Even the areas receiving high annual rainfall experience considerable fluctuations. This makes them vulnerable to both droughts and floods. Drought is a common phenomenon in the low rainfall areas which may also experience occasional floods. The flash floods in drylands of Maharashtra, Gujarat and Rajasthan in 2006 and 2017 are examples of this phenomenon. Droughts and floods continue to be the twin menace in Indian agriculture. Next point is low productivity. The yield of the crops in the country is low in comparison to the international level. Per hectare output of most of such crops such as rice, wheat, cotton and oilseeds in India is much lower than that of USA, Russia and Japan. Because of the very high pressure on land resources, the labor productivity in Indian agriculture is also very low in comparison to the international level. The vast rain-fed areas of the country, particularly drylands which mostly grow coarse cereals, pulses and oilseeds, have low yields. Next point is constraints of financial resources and indebtedness. The inputs of modern agriculture are very expensive. This resource intensive approach has become unmanageable for marginal and small farmers as they have very major or no saving to invest in agriculture. To tide over these difficulties, most of such farmers have resorted to availing credit from various institutions and money lenders. Crop failures and low returns from agriculture have forced them to fall in the trap of indebtedness. Next point is lack of land reforms. Indian peasantry had been exploited for a long time as there had been unequal distribution of land. Among the three revenue systems operational during the British period, the Mahalwari, Raithwari and Zamindari, the last one was the most exploitative for the peasants. After independence, land reforms were accorded priority, but these reforms were not implemented effectively due to lack of strong political will. Most of the state governments avoided taking politically tough decisions which went against strong political lobbies of landlords. Lack of implementation of land reforms has resulted in continuation of inequitous distribution of cultivable land, which is detrimental to agricultural development. Next point is small farm size and fragmentation of land holdings. There are a large number of marginal and small farmers in the country. The average size of land holding is shrinking under increasing population pressure. Furthermore, in India, the land holdings are mostly fragmented. There are some states where consolidation of holdings has not been carried out even once. Even the states where it has been carried out once, second consolidation is required as land holdings have fragmented again in the process of division of land among the owners of next generations. The small size fragmented land holdings are uneconomic. Next point is lack of commercialization. A large number of farmers produce crops for self-consumption. These farmers do not have enough land resources to produce more than their requirement. Most of the small and marginal farmers grow food grains which are meant for their own family consumption. Modernization and commercialization of agriculture have, however, taken place in the irrigated areas. Next point is vast unemployment. There is a massive underemployment. There is a massive underemployment in the agricultural sector in India, particularly in the unirrigated tracts. In these areas, there is a seasonal unemployment ranging from 4 to 8 months. Even in the cropping seasons, work is not available throughout, as agricultural operations are not labor intensive. Hence, the people engaged in agriculture do not have the opportunity to work round the year. Next point is degradation of cultivable land. One of the serious problems that arises out of faulty strategy of irrigation and agricultural development is degradation of land resources. This is serious because it may lead to depletion of soil fertility. The situation is particularly alarming in irrigated areas. A large tract of agricultural land has lost its fertility due to alkalization and salinization of soils and water logging. Excessive use of chemicals such as insecticides and pesticides has led to the concentration in toxic amounts in the soil profile. Leguminous crops have been displaced from the cropping pattern in the irrigated areas, and duration of fallow has substantially reduced owing to multiple cropping. This has obliterated the process of natural fertilization such as nitrogen fixation, etc. Rain-fed areas in the humid and semi-arid tropics also experience degradation of several types like soil erosion by water and wind erosion, which are often induced by human activities. So thank you for listening. This is for today. Keep listening for the further more classes. Thank you.